Today I'm gonna show you my personal take on Spanish rice, also known as paella. It's very easy to make and each serving has around 40 grams of protein. First off, the protein source. You can use either skinless boneless chicken thighs or chicken breast for this recipe. There is a difference in the way we cook them and I will show you both methods in this video. The caloric difference between the two isn't as big as people think, so just use whichever you prefer. I'm gonna use chicken thighs for this video. You need about 900 grams or 2 pounds of chicken, which I'm gonna slice into 2 cm or 1 inch thick pieces. This way you can eat the entire dish with a spoon and don't have to cut anything, and you would also do the same for chicken breast. Next is 300 grams of jasmine rice or any white rice you have on hand. I don't wash my rice for most recipes, but you can if you want. Just measure out 300 grams in a bowl, which is 60 grams per serving, and set it aside. To add volume, I'm using 2 big green bell peppers, each weighing about 200 grams. Slice them in half, remove the core, then cut them into planks and roughly into small pieces. Cutting the peppers as small as possible gives a better overall texture, and do the same with 3 yellow onions, around 150 grams in total, and then set everything aside. So heat up a pan to medium-high heat. I'm using a 28 cm or 11 inch pan. Add a teaspoon of 4 grams of oil and start cooking a batch of chicken. If you're using chicken thighs, just sear them on both sides for about 1 minute until they have some color. Add a pinch of salt, and once they start browning, remove them from the pan. They will go back in later. If you're using chicken breast, however, you need to cook them fully through here. It won't be added back later because it would become too dry, so cook them through and remove them from the pan again. After searing my thighs, add another 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of oil, then going with all of the vegetables plus another pinch of salt. Stir fry them for 5 to 7 minutes, stirring occasionally until they become translucent, soft, and start to caramelize, which will add a lot of flavor. Then add the rice plus 1 teaspoon or 2 grams of oregano, 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of cumin, 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of turmeric, 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of garlic powder, about 20 cranks of fresh black pepper, and optionally 15 grams of tomato puree. This will add an interesting layer of flavor. Give everything a good stir to toast the seasonings, and then add 1000 grams of vegetable or chicken stock. This is super easy to make if you have this bouillon powder. Always have one of these in your pantry. They last forever, and you now can just combine 1000 grams of water with about 15 grams of stock powder, mix, and this is ready. So stir again, then add the chicken thighs back in. If you're using chicken breast, skip this part. As I said, chicken breasts will become super dry if they're left in the broth. So wait until it starts to simmer, then reduce the heat to medium-low. Cover with a lid and let it cook for 20 to 25 minutes. Every 8 minutes or so, give it a quick stir and continue until the rice has absorbed all of the broth and is fully cooked through. Then taste and adjust for seasoning and then remove it from the heat. Finally, grab a bowl and measure 250 grams of frozen edamame. You can also use frozen peas if you can find the edamame. Edamame has more protein though and tastes better in my opinion, but either works fine. So squeeze the juice of 1 lime into the pan, then add a bunch of freshly chopped cilantro, and finally the frozen edamame. The residual heat warms them up, and being frozen helps cool the dish a bit so it stops steaming faster. This would also be the time to add back in the cooked chicken breast and give everything a good stir. So prepare 5 meal prep bowls. I got these glass containers from Amazon. The link is in the description if you're interested. Distribute the paella into the 5 containers. I'm honestly just eyeballing them. This won't be super exact, but it will balance out by the end of the week, so you don't need to be perfect here. And just like that, we've made the paella you can keep in the fridge for up to 5 days, or in the freezer, which I think is even better, for up to 3 months. One serving has 623 calories with 40 grams of protein. I made a cookbook that helped me go from this to this without even thinking about being on a diet. I'm sure it can do the same for you. It has over 220 recipes at this point, which are constantly updated, and once you've purchased it, you get every update for free. The link is in the description, as well as my extra virgin olive oil that I made myself in Greece. The link is down below too.